Reformulated income statement. Default GAAP mix of rates with financing activities and exclude dirty surplus items that to go other comprehensive income. Dirty surplus equals other comprehensive income, unusual items, and net income. So, ang reformulation ng income statement na kabibilangan ng pag-uuri ng mga items sa income statement sa operating income na nagmumula sa mga benta, operating income na nagmumula sa mga source maliban sa mga benta at financial income. Then, kung walang reformulation, ang kakayahang kumita sa pagpapatakbo ay malilito sa kakayahang kumita sa pagpupondo at mga pagbabalik sa mga asset ng pananalapi at gastos sa paghiram para sa mga obligasyong pinansyal. At karaniwang iba ay may kakayahang kumita sa pagpapatakbo nito. Reformulation steps. First, tax. A. Default income statement only report one tax line. B. Must be broken into two allocated into operating and financial parts as both activities have separate tax consequences. C. Key question. What would after tax operating in income be if there were no financing activities? And letter D. This is because we want to strictly focus on operations and financing activities that do not add any value need to be removed, such as tax shield from taking on debt. Ang lahat na yon ayon yung mga reformulation steps kung paano natin sila mako-compute lahat ng kita. At ang sunod ay mga steps o ating mga hakbang. Una, kalkulahin natin yung tax shield. Tax shield equals mga gastos sa interest times marginal rate ng buwis. Yung second step ay ibawas natin ng kabuuang buwis at tax shield mula sa operating income para makuha kung anong operating income kung walang anumang aktibidad sa pagpupondo. Kung walang benepisyo sa buwis at walang mga aktibidad sa pananalapi upang protektahan ang kita mula sa buwis. Ang actual na buwis na kita ay pagpapatakbo ay magiging mas mataas, kumbaga. At mas sinusubukan naming maghanap ng mga sukatan ng buwis at kakayahan kumita mula sa operasyon na hindi sensitibo mga aktibidad sa pagpupondo. Tapos, ang kabuuang buwis sa OI, yun na yung ating na kukumputin kung paano natin siya makukuha at kung ano yung kinalabasan na yun. Third steps, add tax shield financial income. First, each firm has financial expense. Ibig sabihin ito naman yung mga tax shield na ibabawas natin sa operating income. The second is each firm has financial income. So, ito naman yung mga tax shield na idinaragdag natin sa operating income para alisin ang negatibong epekto sa pagbabayad na mas maruming buwis dahil sa mas mataas nito. Number 2 is equity share and subsidiary income. So, A. Operating as we have assumed. Long-term equity investment as operating ratio analysis is used for analyzing. Number 1, composition of operating versus financial parts. Number 2, profitability analysis of operations. So, ito naman yung mga composition analysis. Size of assets, each operating assets equals total operating assets. Second, each operating liability equals total operating liability. Then, each financing assets and total financing assets. Each financing liability and total financing liability. So, makikita nyo dyan sa video na yan is nandyan yung kung paano natin siya makukompute. Kung paano natin siya yung mga kita natin. And sunod, proportion of revenue. Revenue from an operating activity was total sales revenue financial income from a source, and total financial income. So, sa proportion of CSE naman, dyan yung makikita kung paano natin siya na-compute, kung paano natin nakuha yung 41.6 na capitalization ng ratio ng genetic. Yan, genetic. So, yung 57.7 is minus lang doon mismo sa 16.1. So, kaya nakuha yung ating sagot na 41.6. So, ganun din yung sa mga arm gen natin at sa ating chiron percent. So, lahat ng yan, tapos, yung pinaka-average ng capitalization ratio ng financial leverage is 100.0. So, dyan yung makikita kung paano natin siya na-compute kasi nandyan na rin mismo sa na yan, sa PPT na yan, kung paano natin nakuha yung kabuang kita.
High net financial asset means monetary difference between the account group, which is total current asset and total liabilities, excluding deferred income taxes. Example is bank loans, direct investment in official private holding of debt and equity securities and other instruments. Number 1 is replenish asset via capital expenditures. Example of capital expenditures include the purchase of land, vehicles, building, or heavy machinery. Capital expenditures is often used to undertake new project or invest by a company. Number 2, invest further in forthcoming positive net present value opportunities. You need to estimate the timing and amount of future cash flow and pick a discount rate equals to the minimum acceptable rates of return. If the net present value of a project of investment is positive, ay nangangahulugan ito na ang rate of return ay mas mababa sa discount rate. Number 3 is pay obligation that are about to mature. It is term that is most commonly used in relation to bond, but is also used for deposit, currencies, interest rate, and commodity swap, option, loans, and other transactions. For example is home buyers who are saving money of the down payment sa isang bahay na balak mong bilhin sa loob ng isang taon, would be advised to invest in a 5 years term deposit. A better alternative is in this scenario would be to consider a money market fund or a 1-year term deposit. Number 4 is pay dividend repurchase back to shareholders. Business often repurchase their own share to increase value for shareholders. This process increases stock price due to increased demand, benefiting all owners. Companies aim to maximize potential profit for investor by raising stock value and providing cash back through dividend and share buybacks. Number 5 is hedge for incoming difficult periods such as economic recession, change and political environment, regulatory intervention. Recession cause declines in sales that can spiral as the resulting layoff further depress demand. Ang pag-access sa credit ay isang posibilidad na humigit sa gitna ng tumaas, nakawala ng katiyakan sa ekonomiya, while loan delinquencies and default increase alongside bankruptcies. Gayunpaman, ito ay maaaring kahina-hinala bilang isang paraan para sa isang manager na protektahan ang kanilang sariling trabaho. And next is, kung darating ang mahirap na panahon at mahalaga ang mga ari-arian sa kumpanya, bank would still be happy to lend secured debt to the firm, so there shouldn't be issue with liquidity. Mas mataas lang ng konting halaga ng utang sa difficult economic times, pero mas mababa pa rin ang opportunity cost sa pag-invest ng cash. And last is, if difficult times come in firm asset not valuable, ang bangko ay magiging maingat sa pagpapautang dahil maaari hindi sapat ang halaga ng mga naka-securitize na asset para mabawi ng bangko ang utang nito. In this case, ang pananaw ng shareholder ay upang likidahin ang mga asset at lumipat sa isang namumuhunan. Ngunit ito ay nangangahulugan na ang kumpanya ay kailangang mag-restructure at ang manager ay maaaring mawala ng trabaho. And the last is residual operating income model. Residual income is the income a company generates after accounting for the cost of capital, na nakabatay sa idea na ang halaga ng stock ng kumpanya ay katumbas ng kasalukuyang halaga ng mga titirang kita sa hinaharap na may diskwento na angkop na halaga ng equity. Katulad ng residual income model, ngunit gumagamit ng operating income sa halip na nitong kita at ang net operating asset sa halip na book value ng equity. And the last is isang particular na halimbawa ay kung saan ang delhasa ay negatibo or ng net operating asset, net and operating liabilities minus operating asset. Dahil may hawak itong inventory on demand at ang supplier ay epektibong mga pinagkakautangan nito, meron itong mabilis na supply chain kung saan kailangan itong i-inventory upang makakuha ito ng credit on demand. Sa makatuwid, ang residual operating income model ay mas mataas kaysa sa operating income.